hollow points.
Another E90X video. This one is not supposed to be the one that's on the channel right now. So this is my daily. That hasn't been my daily for yeah, that's my project car, believe it or not. I kind of been driving this thing or driving that thing because this one has sadly been broken in the most peculiar way. Actually not peculiar at all because it's very normal for this car.
It's like the Beamer common.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and get straight into it because
I see this box.
we're fixing it, but we're not just fixing it. We're gonna upgrade it as well.
First off, how long have you had this car? Because you've had this car. We've seen this car.
Years, but I've had this car for almost 5. This is my first BMW. This is the reason why I have this love-hate relationship with the white and blue symbol. Quite ridiculous. But as you can see from the griminess,
it don't even have the light on.
Yeah, it's very mighty grimy. This is grimy.
It's not the worst thing.
It's not the worst, but like cobwebs in your daily, that's not daily.
Yeah, that's not a daily.
But yeah, we're just gonna be upgrading this little thing because basically it's worth it more to upgrade it versus just putting another plastic one on there because they warp and it's gonna eventually just go bad again. So we got a metal valve cover.
It's necessary.
Aluminum valve cover going on the n52 so I can have my daily back. And yeah, hopefully y'all don't see this car again for a while.
You see this big money shit though?
That shit's cheap. N52 mods are cheap. This is big money N54 guy over here.
Y'all know how these shits get all fucking oily on the headers and suffocate you while you drive.
Smokes as soon as you turn the car on.
But like you were saying too, when you just change the gaskets on these because the actual valve cover itself is plastic and these bays get so hot, they leak because the fucking plastic cover, it doesn't do shit. And they warp and they twist and they turn. I've done hella valve cover gaskets on just these cars and put them back together and they whistle so loud and they drive perfectly fine and then they stop and they whistle like shit. So if you can, or I mean, save up until you can, honestly.
It's not that much more to
I would just do this.
Go ahead and do this.
Because even if you replace the gasket, if that thing is warped, look at the cats. The cat, I mean, even without, you know, we don't have headers or anything, but the cats sit right there. So even just this side, it's gonna be constant heat.
On any n50X, when it starts going, it's gonna go on that side because the car, or the engine leans that direction. The oil's on that back side the most. But yeah, sadly, E93, this is my 2003 BMW 328i E93. This is my first love. Not my first love. I was a Ford Focus boy before this, but this put me on to like, you know.
If we got any clips of the Focus, I swear I'll drop them.
I was a menace in the Focus.
I'll drop them.
This kind of brought me to the classy side with the Euro boys and showed me what nice cars was really about.
Peep the lighting, guys.
Oh yeah, that's the finesse. Ooh, look at that.
Look at
Tell
that.
me your car been sitting without telling me your car been sitting. Sheesh. I wouldn't say it's gonna be a install video or like a tutorial.
Not at all. There's no point. I'm sure
it's more like working on your car with your homies.
Yeah, literally.
Type deal, cause
you know what I'm saying.
It's a bunch of people that have done this on YouTube. So if y'all really want like a full tutorial,
Yeah, watch an FCP video or something.
But we gonna show you if we get stuck on something.
Factory. All right, we're gonna strip this shit apart.
Double cup charge, she know what I'm pulling. Yeah, she know that I'm geeky, she like what I'm smoking. Blowing my phone up when she is honing. I scoop her up in the right 340. I'm running through lights, catch me on calling. Running from 12, I dip. Nigga too fast, I'm quick, yeah. Busting up all the bricks, yeah. Watch the pothole, I dip. Clutch, I don't slip. Chrome on my fit, yeah. Bitches on my dick when I park my shit and dip. Yeah, she wanna hop on the beam tonight. She wanna hop on the beam tonight. Dirty, dirty, murder, murder. Swerving, swerving, get so high she seeing purple.
So with a little YouTube magic, we were able to get all this stuff out. It took, I'm gonna say, honorable mentions for these valve covers. Super easy to do. The only thing that I would be extra careful with, once you get the little eccentric shaft out, you have to put a T25 or a T20 in the eccentric shaft in the back. You don't have to, but it's not just gonna come out willingly. So what I do, and I've seen a lot of people not do it. There's a hole. You can stick like a T25. Once you get these, there's 2 sets of bolts. Once you get both sets of the bolt slots on both sides, just put the T25 in there and unscrew it. It'll just, bing, it'll shoot out at you. That's what you want to do. You don't want to be pulling it out. And the same thing, when you put it in, set it, and then screw it in, let it, you know, take place before you screw it down. Because if, I don't know what that does, but I know that you can have a bad time. It like has timing or something, and those are just problems we don't need. We just got the radiator out. You probably seen it on a time lapse of us both working in the engine bay. Cam was getting the radiator. The PCV on the back, super important, because if you break this, you will have the hardest time in your life. So it took both of us. I put a screwdriver on the bottom side, I squeezed the top side, and I didn't even attempt. I had Cam come and pull it off just so that we didn't have any mishaps. I've cracked them, I've tried to tape them and do all types of stuff. It's gonna sound terrible. It's gonna run terrible. So I got this cover off, but I didn't take it because if you know about these covers, they're grooved on the bottom, but the new one is flat.
One pathetic sob story later.
All right, so I'm even a few days late and like getting back to this, and me and Cam have done like a bunch of other things in between, but we got the new valve cover on. I forgot to set the camera up and do the whole process of taking it off. And the if you're doing this job, this is not an install video, but if you are doing this job, I would just recommend taking this hose, this AC line, and just pulling it up out the way as much as you can. We took the wiper cowl off because it was in the way as far as getting this back on. And that was pretty much all we did. We were able to get the metal one on. We had to use gasket maker because they gave a regular flat gasket. And I was saying before that this valve cover that we put on the car is different from the OEM ones that have the groove where it sits into. It was completely flat on the bottom and it gave a flat gasket. So just be careful that if you do get that flat gasket, the heads are doweled on the front and the back. So it's pretty okay. We went ahead and RTV'd it because we don't want any problems. I would have liked it to have come like this, and I've done one previously where they came all grooved, but it's okay. So we're able to get this on. Like I said, I would just recommend moving some of that stuff in the back, and there's a shield. We just smashed it up as much as we could, but this is how it looks. We've got it halfway done, so I'll probably just put a time lapse running everything back together. We have a brand new radiator. We put the radiator in it. We need to get a hose because the lower radiator hose from the radiator to the water pump, it's gonna rain here soon. We couldn't get it out, so we beat it off the old radiator knowing that we were gonna do it. So we're just gonna get one of these and the car will be good to go. Okay, so what we have is approximately day number, too many to count. Too many to count. But we have great progress. The car's done. In a minute, we'll bleed it. And I found a cool bleeding procedure that I didn't know about on BMWs. I know for 335s it works. We're gonna try it on this one. But as you notice, we got valve cover done. Fan in, new radiator in. We just struggled a little bit. All I'm gonna say with these aftermarket radiators, the fitment is not perfect. So just around some of these tabs that go in and the screws that go in, just make sure that you're pretty forceful. Not crazy forceful because you don't want to break anything, but it's not gonna fit like OEM. It will fit though. So just make sure your AC condenser hasn't gotten like tugged on or anything. And you won't have a problem really. So I'm just gonna skip until the bleeding part because this is not an install video.
Rocks under my watch.
And
look at that, that's gross. Rocks and dirt under my watch strap.
so we're gonna bleed it, start it, and let you guys see the finished product. Proud. Finished product, we got everything bolted up. We went ahead and topped it off with the coolant. We started the bleeding procedure and then I forgot to show you guys a little secret way. Cam knew, however, I just found out, shut up. I just found out how to do it. So Cam's gonna walk us through it. If you're not familiar with how to do it, take it over, Cam.
So this is for most of all BMWs with an electric not gas pump, with an electric water pump. So when you want to bleed your water pump after doing basically anything with your coolant system, first up, you want to put your key in and you want to press it on to accessory mode. Then you want to make sure you slide your little selector over to heat, put it on 1 and crank it all the way to heat on both sides. Make sure your AC isn't on, and then you're going to hold your gas pedal for 10 seconds.
And what that will do is turn the pump on.
I'm a squirter, Dale. Oh, you know what?
It's squirting out.
Yeah, it's just squirting upwards, but it creates a situation where it makes the car bleed itself. So
yeah, and it'll bleed itself for 12 minutes.
it's just gonna pull coolant, circulate it, and you just top off as you need it.
That process takes 12 minutes.
Usually it
It's very
won't,
important.
usually it won't squirt out everywhere, but we have maximum suckage. So let me watch this while this happens.